Federal government evacuates Nigerians stranded in Ukraine. Lawmakers task women journalists and proper education for integrity. INEC says new dates for general election will enable certainty in electoral calendar. The federal government has made arrangements to evacuate Nigerians stranded in Ukraine. The government noted there are 8 borders between Poland and Ukraine, therefore recommended 4 borders in Ukraine where Nigerian citizens seeking to leave the European country can use to cross safely into neighboring Poland.
Yeah, so we're at the Polish-Ukrainian border, the shelter where people are being received, and the Nigerians in Diaspora Organization Poland is stationed here trying to get our people to safety.
The chairman and chief executive officer of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, said the borders are Rebene Rawa Ruska, Kozowa Krakoik, Medica Zegini, and Budomis Hazu. Dabiri Arewa added that Nigerian volunteer groups as well as staff of the Nigerian embassy will be at these borders to provide necessary assistance for the affected Nigerians. Also, the Nigerian embassy in Warsaw, Poland, said officials and volunteers will be at the Polish-Ukrainian borders to pick up Nigerians to a safe destination. Senator representing Ekiti South Senatorial District, Mrs. Biodun Olujimi, has tasked women journalists in Nigeria on proper education for integrity in the profession. The federal lawmaker spoke in Abuja at the 32nd anniversary of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists (NAWOJ), which came up at International Conference Center. The senator, who was given an award of Amazon of Voice of Women in Political Development in recognition of her efforts on gender advocacy, stated it's time for women journalists to have a rethink and do things differently with the aim of progress, integrity, and advancement in the profession. She urged NAWOJ to stand against the past notion that people do not need to be educated to be journalists. Senator Olujimi added that having midgets and recorder without proper education is not the prerequisite for journalism. She also applauded the courage of women journalists in Nigeria as she dedicated her award to all women. The First Lady, Mrs. Aishat Buhari, who was represented at the event by her daughters, Barrister Halima Sherif Buhari and Sarah Indimi Buhari, urged women journalists to prioritize humanitarian reporting due to global conflicts in children and humanity. Mrs. Buhari dedicated her own award to vulnerable Africans. The award of posthumous ideal role model of African women leaders was given to the former First Lady, late Mrs. Mariam Ibrahim Babangida, who was represented at the event by her daughter Aishat Babangida. Among other awardees are Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule and Ebonyi State Governor David Umai. The NAWOJ president, Mrs. Ladi Bala, noted that the association was established 32 years ago to encourage more women participation in journalism, addressing gender inequality, promote professionalism, and advocate for the cause of women, girls, and vulnerable members of the society. She therefore appeals to relevant stakeholders to join NAWOJ in providing succor to the girl child who is left without hope as a result of insurgency, insecurity, and the negative effects of early marriage. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has said its aim on the announcement of new dates for general election is to ensure certainty in its electoral calendar. The commission, which had earlier announced February 18, 2023 for the presidential election, has now announced new dates for the 2023 general elections in the country. According to the new timetable, the presidential and National Assembly election will now hold on February 25, 2023, while governorship and state assembly elections will now be held on March 11, 2023. INEC chairman Professor Mahmood Yakub spoke at a news conference in Abuja. President Muhammadu Buhari had on Friday, February 25th, signed the electoral bill into law. The INEC chairman said the commission was waiting for the president's decision on the bill before releasing its schedule of activities for the 2023 poll. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) House of Representatives caucus leader Kingsley Chinda has declared that President Muhammadu Buhari does not deserve any commendation for signing the electoral amendment bill. The lawmaker added that those who stood for democracy should instead be praised. The rep member claimed that Buhari had delayed the signing for too long a time after lives had been lost and the 2019 election had been improperly conducted. The PDP caucus leader, while speaking with newsmen, described the accolades showered on the president as unmerited. He alleged that the president was not willing to assent to the electoral bill, but for the pressure from the people. The lawmaker therefore commended the NGOs, diplomatic missions, politicians across party lines, the PDP and other opposition parties, other critical Nigerian masses whom he said persistently mount pressure on Mr. President to make the signing of the electoral amendment bill happen. For regular news updates, view and subscribe to News Here and There TV.